What's going on today, guys? So getting a little more parts for the S10 and test fitting a couple things. I ran to the auto wrecker today and grabbed just a stock distributor and HDI cap. For those two it was 50 bucks. And then I needed to get a fitting for the oil filter. They gave me this. I thought it was the right one, but it is not. So you go from a Vortec to just a normal oil filter. There's a huge housing that comes off here with the oil cooler lines that goes forward, so you remove that. There's actually a spot here for 2 bolts so you can get the oil filter housing on, which this actually attaches to. So I need to run back up there and grab that part. For the speedo cable, this is the stock speedo cable, and this is the original piece that went into the 5-speed. So this would go inside the tail housing of the 5-speed. I removed this, which is just a screw and the wire, or the screw cap, and then there's a wire that comes out into the fitting. So you remove this and it actually just goes direct in. So that works perfect. I took the stock trans mount and just set it in the hole on the cross member to see where it would sit on the tranny, and it's back a little bit, so I think all I'm going to do is measure this distance and then drill a new hole, because I got the motor exactly where I want it. So I think I'm just going to do that, and then we'll reuse this stock mount. I set the drive shaft in to see where we were on length, and we're actually a little short. So it's in here probably only 1.5 inches, 2 inches, but it needs to be a little further back. You can see where it used to sit on the 5-speed. So we're going to take this out, cut it, find a new piece of tube, and lengthen it those couple inches that we need for this to work. It's nice that these splines are exactly the same going from the 5-speed to the Turbo 350. That works really, really well. So yeah, we're going to pull this out, cut it, and put a new piece of tube in here and re-weld it. It's not going to be perfect because it's not balanced, but we're going to give it a go beforehand and see if we can get it close enough, and then drill out this hole here for the trans mount. Good morning, guys. It is like 6 o'clock in the morning. I came in early today to get some stuff done on the S10. The trans mount is done. I just drilled a hole slightly forward of the original hole for the T5 mount, and it worked perfectly. So the motor and tranny are now bolted in place. I took that used distributor, cleaned it up, and put that in the truck. And then I took all the spark plugs that were originally in the motor, cleaned those up, and we're going to reuse them. They did work perfectly fine when I had the truck running before pulling the motor, so we're just going to go ahead and use those just to get it running and then change them out later. I bought some new wires. These are the cheapest 90-degree angled plugs they had. There's some NGK 8mm, and they were like 49 bucks, something like that. So we're gonna go ahead and put those on right now, and yeah, just keep putting stuff on it. I got a carburetor, a used one that I've had in storage for a while. We're gonna put that on, and yeah, today we're also gonna go up to the auto wrecker. They have a late 90s Blazer up there with a 4.3, so I'm gonna pull the radiator out of that. It should work perfect. It's an aluminum one. Guys were saying online that the 2.8 one is just not enough. It's not big enough for it to work for the 350, and the 4.3 one will work perfect. So we're gonna grab that as well, and then try and do some tranny cooler lines, put oil in it, and possibly get it running here shortly. So hopefully within the next couple days we'll be able to hear it fire up for the first time. So we're gonna go ahead and put these on. If you've never done timing on a small block before, basically you just want to put the motor at top dead center put your distributor in with your rotor. I always go with it pointing at the number 1 cylinder, and then you start your timing from there on your cap and go clockwise. So, and the firing order is 18436 572, and then that's the way you want to put all your plug wires on to each cylinder. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so all the wires are on. I just did a little zip tie trick from Motor Trend, Freiberger, Finnegan. Just one zip tie all the way around, and you put one in between the wires so they don't touch, and then just snug it up. That's just going to keep the wires off the headers so they're not going to burn or crisp. And you just want to make sure that you use the appropriate wires for each cylinder. They're not marked or anything, you just kind of have to grab the ones that will work, and you just want to make sure it's not going to be super tight and you have a lot of adjustment there for the timing.